This is Yusuf Q, also known as the BurgerMan. This video is more about early access versus full release. Let's make Undisputed great again. When Undisputed came out, formerly known as Esports Boxing Club, came out in an alpha for like 3 days. It was something I've never seen before. The mechanics, I've never seen those type of mechanics. It was very challenging to learn how to use those mechanics. It was very different. It was very, I can't put my finger on it, right? I only had 3 days to play the alpha, but it was dope. A month later, the beta comes out, which I think is early access, right? And I started playing that, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually playing the newest boxing game that's about to come out on all platforms soon. And I'm playing it, and I'm like, wow, this is so much different from Fight Night. So much like technique, and you know, there's so much going on. There's so much layers to the game that I was like, wow, this is gonna take me a while to really finesse this, you know. And when it came out, I was playing it, and I was like, wow, this is. I just can't put my words. Words cannot express how much different it was than Fight Night. You know, it was very sim-like. I was able to duck and weave under punches. I was able to actually use my reach as an advantage from the jab. You know, throw different directions with the jab. You know, you really have to know a little bit about boxing. I'm saying it was closest to realism as possible. Footwork mattered. I was able to go behind my opponent. I was able to, you know, change directions and stuff like that. I was able to do a lot. I feel like there was no limits. I felt like I was fighting freely. I felt like I was just, I could do so much thing. I could do so much in this game. So early access was about 2 years, and I played, I think, about 20 different versions of early access. Some better than others, but I think early access as a whole was a better simulation game that people was expecting for people who bought early access were expecting that for full release. Now the people who was waiting to buy this for full release was, you know, all they saw was just clips and trailers, and you know, like they couldn't really like get to play the game. And the people from early access were telling people who never played the game, you guys are gonna shit on yourselves because this is not Fight Night. This is not an arcade game. This is not what you think it is. It's more than meets the eye. People are gonna find out like, yeah. When the game drops, it's gonna be the same bullshit. We're gonna end up figuring out the exploits and end up spamming the shit out of you. And when full release came, it was a big fucking mess. And it was very arcadish. You know, the power button was just very animated. I couldn't go behind my opponent no more. They made it seem like it was Fight Night like, right? And I didn't like the changes. I was like, wow, they took this out, they took the clinch out, they took this out, they took that out, they took this out, they took that out. And I'm like, what? Why? I was hoping that, you know, it would still be a sim game with all the changes it has been made, but it was just not it. This Undisputed is not for the avid fan no longer. It's for more the casual who can, you get the controller about 2 days later, you know how to play the game. And that's not, the game wasn't meant for that in the beginning. It was not meant for that. It was a big skill gap. It was a lot going on. And I think some of the influencers had a big part in this. Like Showbiz, the beta testers, the testers, maybe GMMA, maybe, the guys, all the big influencers, all the guys that had was able to get the game early and by saying this is it, this is this is that. But this is why it's not good to have influencers that have such a big name and want to critique on the game that they have no knowledge of, or because they didn't like early access. Like, Showbiz was one of them. I'm not sure GMA was one of them, but I know I think he was more honest than anything else, GMA. But I don't think he should be commenting about the combat sports either. He should be giving critique. They should have just did their own game. Still City Interactive should have just did their own game. And forget about who doesn't like the game. Make the game, you already got the boxes and then learn how to play. Because when people drop the game, you still have to learn how to play, right? So why that direction changed? I would say partially for sales and partially what the influencers were saying. And early access and full release is not the same type of game. It's not, it's definitely not. And I think the game, for it to succeed as a real boxing game, it will have to stick to its roots. It will have to go back to early access and make this a sim game. Once again, now it's not. Now it is what it is. I get to win how I get to win now for release, and that ruins the reputation of the company. Because when you were promising something to all the avid fans and you don't deliver, then you may question what's going on. But anyway, guys, God bless. This is the BurgerMan, and like and subscribe. One love.